It is true that God redeemed man. He brought back man to life. How? The wages of sin is death. And that was why Jesus came as a substitute to surely die. In order to bring man from death, he will need to visit the grave. He will need to visit the realm that man was and bring him back to life. Temporarily, God made a sacrifice of killing an animal to cover the sin of men in the Old Testament. There in chapter 3, Genesis, he covered their sin and used the skin of that animal to cover them. This is the fall we are talking about. From losing glory, the garment of glory, to wearing animal skin. What a fall. What a loss. This was a man, a king. Adam wasn't just a man. He was crowned a king. Look at the book of Psalms. He was crowned the crown of glory in the Garden of Eden, himself and the wife, Queen Eve. Now, to prove to you that the Garden of Eden wasn't just in the Garden of Eden, it was also the headquarters of the government of God on earth. The headquarters, the palace of Adam and Eve. That was the Garden of Eden. Now, because they have lost kingship, royalty, they have dropped to become slave to Satan, because what happened in the Garden of Eden was a total loss of throne, total loss of power, total loss of grace, total loss of glory. In fact, it was worse than chaotic. What happened in the Garden of Eden? It was a total blackout for Adam and Eve. And so God had to evict them and evacuate them, drove them out of the palace because they already lost power. No king lose power and still remain in the palace. No president lose power and still remain in Aso Villa or White House. They will be evicted. So Adam and Eve were evicted. Loss of power, loss of dominion, loss of throne, loss of fruitfulness, loss of multiplication, loss of replenishing the earth, that is developing the earth, loss of potentials, loss of the power to subdue the earth and the devil, loss of dominating the earth, the fowl of the air, the fishes in the sea, and the animals on the ground. This was how man became automatic enemy to animals. The animal we used to have authority over now begin to scare us. Man begin to live in fear. Common and ordinary mosquito begin to bite man. Cockroach begin to bite us. And so it was because of the loss of power. It was because of the death that Adam experienced. Lion begin to eat us. Dogs begin to bark on us because we lost dominion. We lost the power to subdue the earth. These were the problems. It is not the problem of location, my darling, because the earth was created for man to live eternally. It was powered for eternal living. And that is why the earth still remains today. If you look at the Bible said, world without end. I did that in my previous video. Please go back to my previous videos. World without end. The world was wired to remain forever, just as the heaven was wired or is wired to remain eternally. Now man too was built. The earth was built and man was built to live eternally on earth. Let me emphasize on that, on earth. On earth, God is to live in heaven, eternally in heaven, and man on earth, eternally on earth. Listen. And when Jesus came, he said, I have come to give you this life. That death you died the other time, I have come to resurrect you. I have come to not just to give you life, to give you abundant life. That is why those that are against preaching prosperity, they don't even know what they are preaching. In Garden of Eden, it was full of abundance and prosperity. Not just the Garden of Eden, sir. The whole earth is loaded. God loaded this. That is why upon the looting of the wealth of Nigeria, Nigeria can never go broke. All this story you are hearing that Nigeria is broke is because Nigeria is yet to explore and maximize the mineral resources within our geographical location. The earth is loaded to feed us forever. Is there any year you plant anything that it will not grow up? The earth is built and wired. Man is built and wired to live forever. Now, that is not where I'm going yet. The story is that man died. Man need to be saved. Man need to be redeemed. That is the question. The question and answer is not about relocation to heaven. It's about, did man come alive? Did God redeem Adam? Did he bring Adam back? Did he bring Eve back? The answer is yes. How? He sent the last Adam. The first Adam that sinned. All right, now, what is happening is that when man died, he needed to be redeemed. So all the work that Jesus did, there's no time to tell you all the story. All the work that Jesus did was to revive man. His death was his death on the cross was to pay the penalty. Only criminals were hung on the tree. He said, "Cause is he that was hung on a tree, so that the blessings of God can come upon us again." So Jesus took the cross for us. And when he resurrected, that is man resurrecting. That is Adam resurrecting. He told that woman, he said, "I am the resurrection and life." And the woman was still saying, was it matter in the Bible? He said, "Your brother, your friend, your good friend is dead. What will you do?" And he said, "He will live again." The woman said, "I know he will live again." He said, "Look, he will live again now. Take me to his grave." And Jesus woke up that one that was dead. And Jesus brought him back to life. How many people were dead that Jesus brought to life? I'm talking about physical death now. Now listen. When Adam died, he died spiritual death instantly. It wasn't a physical death. The death of Adam was a spiritual death, was the death of potentials and everything, death of knowledge. Take note of that. He was walking, but yet a walking corpse. Adam and Eve were, it is just like the story of the fig tree. Look at it here and study it. Go back to it. Jesus caused the fig tree. Though the leaves were still green, the tree was already dead. It was after a day or two when they were passing, the disciples saw it again. He said, "Master, look at the fig tree you caused. It is withered. But as at yesterday, it was still fresh." Yes, it was fresh. Adam and Eve was like that. They died while they were walking corpse. Until Jesus came to bring us back to life. You are welcome.